Hi, I'm Adam, one of the owners of Poop Scoop Academy, and I wanted to make this video to share about the opportunity of doing pet waste removal for dogs there in your area, in your neighborhood. It's a fantastic home service that you probably didn't think of, and then when you saw the opportunity, you thought, I'd like to learn a little bit more. So that's why we made this video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the process talking about how to get started, what it looks like as far as commercial, residential, and then marketing avenues and the sales process. And I'll go ahead and I'll share with you quite a bit of information so that you can see that poop scooping is pretty awesome. So I have my own company. It's Smart Scoops here in Orlando, and we got started in 2023 and it's been going very well. And I'll get into some numbers and I'll share with you all of that. But right now there's about 2,200 companies in the United States, and they're producing about 59 million, which is kind of on the low end with regards to home services. Fortunately, by about 2030, we project that it should be at about 101 million, which is fantastic because the more companies, the better, because that means that we're all competing and we're providing value in order to earn the business of people in our communities. And as a result, we will have to charge higher prices. So as more companies come in, we will be able to provide better service and then obviously command a better dollar. Okay. There's about 60 million dog owners in the country as of last year. And it's a big industry. The pet industry is huge. And so as of last year, it's about $150.6 billion with a B. It's a lot of money. Okay. People, they love their animals as if they were their children. And so there's nothing wrong with hiring someone to come and take care of, picking up after them in the yard so that they can focus on just the joys of being pet owners. Okay. All right. So the pet ownership, there was a boom during the pandemic. A lot of folks, they were at home and they wanted to have, a cuddly thing. They went and they adopted dogs, and it was fantastic. So during the pandemic, there was more than 9 million pet owners, which is about double the average growth rate. So as a result, it's a lot more customers, right? So that's where we come in. Okay, so here's how it works. So a typical service visit, we like to let people know that we're on the way. So we send a text message and we let them know, hey, we're 10 minutes out, we're 15 minutes out. The CRM that we use, it allows us to do that. And then when we get there, we actually do the scooping, okay? So we get access to the backyard and we go and we start scooping everything. We work counterclockwise and then we grid the yard twice to make sure that we get everything. And then we take it all with us. So that's where we have multiple different ways that companies do this. But the way that we do it is that we actually take it away with us. It's a full service. We haul it away. Some companies, they will leave it in the bin while they're there. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so going back to the disposal though, that full service opportunity, when you take the poop with you, you can actually market that to your clientele so you can command a little bit more money. On average, it's about $5 extra per visit that you can get. So that adds up, right? So if you go weekly and there's 52 weeks in the year, you're getting an extra $5 per 52 weeks. You're getting that every single, right? So that's about 250 plus the 10. So it's an extra $260 per year. Okay. So now what about at the end when we leave? Well, we like to leverage this information when we market to our folks. So we let them know, hey, we actually give you a picture of the bags on your first visit so that you can see how much poop we picked up. So you can actually quantify and see visually the value that we've brought you. Obviously, they'll see that when they smell it, when they go out in the backyard and they see no poopies, but we like to take a picture and then send that to them. And then we also, every subsequent visit, we like to send them a picture of their gate showing that it's closed so that they know that they can let the dogs back out into the yard. So that's in a nutshell how it works. It's very simple, okay? So beyond scooping, these are the services that we provide. We do yard sanitization, where we actually use one of several different sanitizers, where you can do an enzymatic spray or you can do some sort of oxidizing agent, which kills organics. and you can spray the yard, and there's a lot of different things that you can use. But you got to be careful, because even though we're sanitizing the yard, you're never really sanitized the yard, because if you think about it, there's so many good probiotics and bacterias that are in the yard, in the soil, in the grass. So you have to be careful about what you promise that you do. Now you can scent cover using a masking scent to deodorize, and that's another service that we provide. But the enzymatic cleaners, the sanitizers, they kill and eat away that which creates the smell. So there are enzymatic cleaners that they use at kennels and boarding facilities that you can use to spray the lawns. And they work really well, but it's not a 100% disinfecting, sterilization, or sanitization. So you want to make sure that when you talk about what you do, you talk about the act itself. Is we're sanitizing, we're deodorizing, but we don't actually complete that. It's practically impossible to do that. Okay. Now, we also do a dog deterrent. So this is fantastic as far as considering what you make hourly, because the deterrent is for the front of the lawn, maybe about the 6 to 12 inches of the front lawn where we park our vehicles when we get out to go to the backyard. Our vehicles are out front. So when we come back, when we're done scooping, we have a pump sprayer that we use to spray a natural, eco-friendly, it's a consumer grade product that is sold in bulk, and you can actually spray it and it deters, or it dissuades dogs from using that area. It does take a couple of sprays for it to be effective, and it's not even 100% foolproof. However, we have found that our clients, they love it. And in fact, we offer them the opportunity to tell us if they would like us to spray it in other areas like flower beds, or anywhere where they don't want their dogs hanging out, fire pits, anywhere in the backyard. Okay. Now we also offer a magic bucket. The magic bucket is a fantastic opportunity so that if the people are okay with scooping it themselves, but they need to have someone come get the poop because they don't want to put it in their own trash can, that is no problem. We actually provide them a bucket with 2 liners, and we spray it so that it smells good, and then has a lid. They can put it anywhere on their property they want. We go every week to collect the bag, take the poop with us, and then we replace the bags. So we don't actually do any scooping. This is fantastic for people who also have cat boxes, and they want to take the cat litter and put it somewhere else other than their personal trash cans that they may keep inside their garage. And so that smell can permeate into the house. It's a great way to capture people when they're canceling service too. Would you like to downgrade to our Magic Bucket service, sir? Okay, tell me a little bit more about that. It works fantastic. Also, we provide DNA sampling. Now, this comes in 2 different flavors. The first flavor is residential. This is where we have homeowners, pet owners, that they need a specimen to take to their veterinarian of poop. So what we do is we collect it and we provide it in a specimen cup. We put it in a sealed bag and then put it on their doorstep so that they have that ready to go. And then we can also provide that to commercial clients like neighborhood property managers, as well as apartment property managers, where they actually swab the DNA of the dog, their tongue and their gums, to find out if the dog has pooped. Using services like Poop Prints, they can match the DNA to the DNA on record and then levy a fine. A lot of communities do this, and so we offer the opportunity to collect those samples. And then obviously, of course, the waste stations. This is a great financial opportunity for companies that do what we do. We install stations. We actually replace them if they're not looking too good. And we can actually put custom signs on them. We can take care of the replenishing the bags. And additionally, we take care of the trash cans as well. So you want to make sure that you really take the opportunity when a commercial property like an apartment or a neighborhood reaches out. You can make some really great money and you can help those folks out as well. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a cost analysis sheet, and you're going to be able to see all the numbers. We're going to simulate a company that is owner-operator and is nearly maxed out with one person working 4 days a week at scooping, and then a 5th day they're using to do marketing and owner type of stuff. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just fill out everything, and then we're going to look at the numbers. So to start with, let's talk about CRM. We use Jobber. It's fantastic. We've used things like Sweep and Go for a month. We use Markate for about 2 months. We use Customer Factor for years. We use Service Monster for about half a year. And House Call Pro we've used for about a year. We find benefits in all of them. We found downfalls in all of them, but we're happy with Jobber. It works fantastically. It does routing, two-way communication. It does all of the putting things in the profile as far as hot zone videos. Jobber works amazingly. Recommend that you use it. But whatever you use, it's good. Use a CRM. So on the annual costing side, if you were to break it down per month, it's about $90 per month for Jobber. And so this is just to get started. So that's the first expense. Now we want to talk about how far we're driving between clients. It's about 7 miles, kind of conservatively. And if you're rural, you're going to be driving about 7 to 10 miles. But in a residential typical market, between clients, 5 to 7 miles, we're going to go ahead and just call it 7. This is important to note this because we're going to figure out the average fuel that we're spending in the day. And so we have to enter in all this information. So fuel economy of a car that we're using, if it's a car, it's going to be like 40 to 30 miles to the gallon. If it's like a truck, it's going to be anywhere from 15 to 25 miles to the gallon. We're going to go ahead and just call it 20 miles to the gallon. And then the average fuel cost, let's just go ahead and say it's about $3.50 per gallon right now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how many accounts we have. It's going to calculate all the fuel. Okay. So bags, this is your main supply that you're using. And we use 13-gallon white bags. You can get them from Costco, you can get them from Sam's, even from Amazon. They're going to cost you about 17 cents per bag. We averaged about 1.5 per job. Why 1.5? Because in the first job, you spend the most bags because that's the initial cleanup. And then as jobs progress, you use less and less bags. So in the lifetime value of a client, you're typically using less than 1.5, but we're going to go ahead and just call it 1.5. So the cost of a bag is about 17 cents. We're going to go ahead and just call it 20 cents. Now, how much money do we get per month on average per client? So we right now are at 117 for residential. I'll show you what it is afterwards for commercial. This is just residential reoccurring. This is not one-timers and it's not commercial. Keep that in mind. Okay, now we got to talk about how much we're paying ourselves and our employees. So you have 1099 and you have W-2. W-2 is going to be like your owners if you're drawing a paycheck, which you should, talk to your CPA, and then also employees that are dedicated to your company. Excuse me. 1099s are really just like subcontractors, part-timers. You want to try them out, and you can have full-time 1099s, and then they just take care of their own taxes. So it is what it is. But if we're going to just go with the conventional model, whereas W-2 laborers are for dedicated employees, full-timers, and owners, we're going to pay ourselves a little bit better because we do a little bit better. So that means that we're spending about, 15 minutes per yard, and we pay ourselves about $20 an hour, okay, on the low end. Now for 1099, they're going to spend a little bit more time in the yard because they're not owners, and we're going to pay them a little bit less. We'll go ahead and pay them $16 an hour. Okay, so now we have it set for how long they're spending and how much they're making, both owner operators and good employees, and then also part-timers, just kind of trying them out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go up here into this area, the top left section. We're going to go ahead and put how many clients we have. So maxed out, it's about 30 clients a day. That means 5 days a week. How many is that? 150. That's a completely dense route where you can do 30 yards in a day. That's a lot of yards. And that's a really good route. However, as an owner operator, we are going to work 4 days out of the week, leaving 1 day, like I said before. So we're going to go ahead and call it 30, 60, 90, 120. So we're going to go ahead and give ourselves 120 accounts for the week, leaving a 5th day that we're going to do either chilling out, or we're going to take care of business with printing stuff, delivering marketing material, doing commercial bidding, going to network marketing meetings, picking up the kids, doing whatever. We have an office day. Okay, let's see what it is. Per month, we're making $14,000. Okay, annually, it's $168,000. It's a lot of money just for one person, a one-person show. But you are running ragged right now. Okay. Now, before we look at the profit, it's right now at 61%, but we haven't put all of our expenses in there. So let's go ahead and look in the lower left here. Let's scroll down, and we're going to start filling this out. So vehicle fuel is already figured out. That's why we put in all that information. We're spending about $7,700 on fuel. Bags, we're spending about $1,900. No 1099 labor yet. Liability, everything that's yellow, we're going to fill out. But liability, $300 for the year on the high end. Processing, 3%. And then domain, you're going to be paying about $15 for the year just to renew your domain. Your Google Workspace is about $10 a month, so we'll just go ahead and call it $125. Okay, office supplies, this is like ink, paper, all that stuff. We're going to call it about $10 a month on average. Internet, you're going to be splitting this possibly with other businesses or with your home. Talk to your accountant about that. Let's just go ahead, we're going to go ahead and contribute ourselves, $30 a month to the internet. Utilities, let's say you're contributing there as well. Let's just call it $50 a month. Annual LLC costs, reprocessing and all that stuff. Let's just call it $200. CRM is already taken care of, right? Website, this is where it gets into the whole thing of like, what's a website? What does it entail? In our classroom where we have website marketing, we're going to talk about what it entails with websites. What is WordPress? What is Elementor? What is WP Bakery? What is a theme? What are plugins? This is not the time and place for that. So we're going to go ahead and say that on average, you're spending about $160 a month. So we're going to go ahead and call it $2,000 for the website annually. And that includes your hosting and all of your management. Okay. Print advertising. This is where it gets kind of crazy, okay? The marketing stuff, you're going to have to just trust me on this. Yard signs are hyper effective, and we get thousands of them a year, okay? So we're going to go ahead and anticipate that we're getting thousands of yard signs, and we're also using a lot of flyers and door hangers, and we are distributing those at all of our jobs, at network marketing meetings, at doggy daycares and at bakeries. We're going to spend about $2,500 per year. And honestly, that's a low end because you're going to see that you can spend a lot more money and be more effective with it. Okay, Facebook marketing, this is, again, new business owners, this is where people get nervous. You got to spend to make, okay? And so if you have a good Facebook marketing company that's running ads for you and really, dialing it in, speed to lead, get your script. But when you get it dialed in, you're going to be spending about $500 to $1,000 per month on that. Again, on the low end. So we're going to go ahead and call it $750 per month with Facebook marketing. Google, we're going to go ahead and call it $500 because I feel like Facebook is better. Google's good, but it's kind of a slow burn. But let's go ahead and call it $500 on the Google. Network marketing. This is like Chamber of Commerce Alliance, Rotary, BNI. BNI is about $1,200 annually. Chamber of Commerce should be about $400 annually. So let's just go ahead and call it $55 on the monthly and just kind of split the difference. But you got to do something. Okay. Office lease rent. This could be a partition area of your house, paying the rent or the mortgage, or just some sort of lease like an office. We pay $1,500 here, but we have a couple businesses operating out at, so it's all kind of distributed evenly. Let's just go ahead and say it's about $500 per month that the business pays for office lease or rent. Kind of on the low end. Let's go ahead and do $650. Bookkeeper, a bad one's going to be about $200 a month. A good one's going to be about $1,000. Split the difference. Let's go ahead and call it $550. You need a bookkeeper too, by the way. Okay, if you are bookkeeping and doing all of your reconciliation and doing all of your taxes, you are not doing something in your business that you should be doing. You're stifling your business. You should 100% not be doing bookkeeping. Hire a bookkeeper, hire an accountant, and just focus on your business. Let the professionals do what they do, okay? All right, PPE, this is like booties and gloves and stuff. I would say like $10 a month. Chemicals, we're at about $100 to $150 every other month with this. Let's just go ahead and call it, for you, a smaller business, let's just go ahead and call it $100 a month, okay? And this is for sanitizing solutions, deterrents, and any sort of cleanses and cleanses that you have for your company. Uniforms, $100 a year. That'll get you a couple polos and some hats, and you can distribute that evenly through the year a couple times. Commercial auto, we're on the high end. We're at like $35,000, $4,000. So we're Florida. You're probably going to be a little bit less, but let's go ahead and call it, just a little bit less than us, $3,250 per vehicle. Labor and taxes is already taken care of. So we're paying ourselves $47,000. That's our salary that we're paying ourselves right now, and we're paying the taxes on that. QuickBooks is about $70 a month. If you use Responsibit, it's going to be about $2,700 per year. It's a great sales tool. I'll show you what that looks like. But let's just go ahead and see what we're at right now. 36% net profit. That's really good. Anything more than 10% is pretty good. If you're up more than 15% net profit for a home service, that's really good. If you're up more than 20%, people want to know what you're doing. Up above 25%, you've got it really dialed in, and the question is like, okay, what are you not doing? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of committing to? Which would be hiring labor, which could be improving your branding, improving your marketing avenues, improving your equipment, improving and reaching your culture, getting an office. Like, you're ready to move now, okay? It's great that you're making 14 grand. You are net profiting now monthly 5 grand. That's great, right? So 5 grand plus the 46,000, you're at about 51,000 that you're putting in your pocket. But what you're not doing is you're not growing, okay? So let's say that we want to go ahead and take 12 clients off of our lap. Let's take 10 clients. So we're at 110, and we want to take those and we want to get 15 more clients. And now we want to give them to the labor. So we took off 10 and we got 15 more. So we're going to give them 25, okay? Now we're at 26% net profit, and we're paying somebody. So we gave ourselves more time and we got more clients. So we're at 135 now, okay? We're still not even really maxed out for the route. Let's go ahead and max out 150, right? So let's go ahead and put on 130 here, and let's actually make that 125. We'll just give ourselves 5 more. So maxed out between 2 people using the same vehicle. Let's say that we have a work vehicle, then we have a personal vehicle. The employee comes to the house and they jump in your truck with all the abilities and all the organization in the Maverick. It's fully wrapped. And then you have your personal vehicle. You take your personal vehicle and do everything on Friday, right? And then Monday through Thursday, you're using the Maverick. But then on Friday, your employee, your 1099, they're using your wrapped vehicle. This way you can keep your vehicle and just keep it working fully wrapped. It's nice to take your fully wrapped vehicle to the network marketing meeting. Nobody cares. It's not that important. I would make sure that it stays in rotation and gets those 20 to 50,000 impressions as it's driving around the city. So maxed out, this is where you're at. You're at 30% net profit. It's incredible. You're making $175 a year, and your guy's getting paid. So your part-time person, your 1099, let's see what they're making on average per year. $10,000. That's not even part-time. Part-time is going to be about double that, right? So they're only doing about 20 yards or 20 minutes per yard. It's about 12 and a half hours a week. We need to give them about 50. So let's go ahead and do 100. Okay. 25. Now that's part-time. There, it's a little less, a little bit more than 20, half time. It's 25 hours. So now let's take a look at 14% net profit. Ooh, we're paying this guy. So this is why you got to get their minutes up. You got to make sure that you're making sure that they're staying efficient. Okay. You possibly have to pay yourself a little bit less and start dumping that into someone who does administrating. Maybe you go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to get this built out, and I'm going to make sure that I have the time. You got to trade time for money and money for time. This is just how it works, okay? So what you can start doing is you can start making your money, putting it away, and putting it away a little nest egg, a little emergency fund. Put away money away for yourself so that you can pay yourself less, so that you can go ahead and start dumping it into other employees. Because if you didn't have to scoop it all during the week and you had the money to pay them while you grew your company, that would allow you to grow your business. It's important with scaling, okay? There's only so many hours in a day. There's only so many pennies in a dollar. But this is what it looks like with using the sheet. We're going to go back to the presentation. You'll be able to download this spreadsheet and you can play with it. Okay, so as we mentioned, we are at $117 a month for our residential, okay? For our commercial, we are at $420 a month right now. So in that whole simulation, we didn't talk about one-timers and we didn't talk about commercial. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of money in poop. All right, so operations, getting started. What does that look like? Tools and equipment, rakes, bucket, bins, pump sprayers. It's pretty simple. It's straightforward. We have all the items that you can use as far as getting started operations-wise. This is the extent that we're going to talk about this. It's simple. It's amazing. you're going to be fine. Transporting and disposal of the poop. So full service versus client bin. We've talked about this. But what you want to consider is, can you make more by just taking the poop with you? And if you do, how much longer is it going to take you to put it somewhere? You're going to have to take it somewhere. You have to charge for it. Don't charge nothing. You have to charge something for it. Also, is the trash can available? It may not even be available. The trash can can be in the garage. It can be somewhere where you just can't access it. And so if that's the case, now what are you going to do? Okay, keep that in mind. Route efficiency. So here's what I recommend. When you start a company like this, you want to just get as many clients as possible. You want to have a wide net, cast it, and get all the revenue because it'll allow you to grow. And at some point, you're going to have to be like, I don't know how I can do 30 people in a day. You can if you densify your route. You can optimize it later, but in the beginning, just take on as many people as you can, okay? And set the expectation that I may move you to a different day. Just set that expectation. And you may have to let people know, like, hey, I've been servicing you for, 4, 6, 8 months, and it looks like we're going to have to really densify. I can't service it at this price anymore. I got to raise your pricing, 20, 25%. Is that okay? It is? Okay, cool. Well, now it's worth it, right? But then what if they say, no, I don't want to pay that? It's okay. Have a company ready to go, or don't, and then just let them know, like, I got to drop you then. This will be our last month. I appreciate you. If I ever expand into this area, again, I will let you know. Nothing wrong with that. It's okay to cut people loose, but optimize later. Setting client expectations is important. What do you do with missed piles? Okay, do you come out the next day? Do you say sorry and I'll get you next week? Do you give them a free week? Do you have a punch card that says, like, for every 5 missed piles you get a free month, and then you kind of gamify it, make it fun? Okay. What about spring rush? What do you do? When you have a melt, how do you handle that? Do you start marketing in January? Do you start marketing in February? Do you keep scooping during the winter? You have to consider all these things, that regionally you're going to have frozen areas that are going to get snowed in. And it's going to be hard to get all the poopies, right? But you still got to take care of them. And so you want to market to them, and you got to be ready for that spring rush. So every area is a little bit different, but for the most part, we're just scooping poop. It's a matter of, can I see the poop? Can I get to the poop? Okay. All right. So with marketing, getting started, we have 5 rounds. These are little cards that we put into the door of all the people around our client. So next door, we put flyers in the door jams, and then we go across the street to the 3. Okay. Yard signs, they really work, as I mentioned beforehand. Okay. And then yard flags, these are the little flags that pest control companies and lawn care companies use to indicate that there's some sort of spray that occurred on the lawn, and to stay off of it until it's dry. These are great marketing avenues, opportunities. We wouldn't do this unless there were other professional contractors that do this. So the yard flags are great. This is essentially a yard sign that people put, like pressure washing companies or holiday lighting companies, to indicate that business was performed there. Okay. But because it's a reoccurring basis, it's every week, a yard sign is pretty intense. So what do companies do that want to stay marketing and keep some sort of presence on the yard? Pest control and lawn companies use these little yard flags. So we do the same thing. It does 2 things. 1, it keeps us present in the neighborhood when people are walking by. And 2 is that it looks professional. It makes us look like pest control companies and lawn care often seem to be more sophisticated than the conventional, preconceived notion of poop scooping companies. So now we're elevating our company in the minds of people walking around. Okay. Table tents. These are little tents that you can fold up and you can put on counters at, like, daycares, doggy daycares, and at boarding kennels and at veterinarians. Careful with vets, because often, especially with emergency vets, that's the worst day that they're going through. And then, hey, do you want me to scoop your poop? They don't want to see that. But vets, check the vet and see if you can put these little table tents that has a QR code, and it says something like, hey, do you need your poop scoop, or something like that. Make it clean, make it tasteful, and then see if you can. Okay, anyway, we touched more on that in the school. Pamphlets are really good for commercial, and then for Google and Facebook, obviously the advertising costs. Vehicle wraps, they work. You get 20 to 50,000 impressions a day. I can't tell you how many times we have people that say that we look like a franchise because our vehicle's wrapped. Magnets, decals, get a wrap. Get a vehicle dedicated, get the wrap. Push the branding. Don't push necessarily like how to reach us. This is the QR code, and this is the the phone number, the website. This is the social media, and like this is like you don't have to put the TikTok logos and all that stuff. Keep it simple. At the most, a QR code and then a phone number and a website. That's it. But you'll be surprised that no one really scans your QR codes on your truck. I'm guilty of having a QR code on our truck. But if doing it again, you don't need a QR code. No one's going to scan it. Just focus on your branding on your vehicle wrap. And the network marketing, like I said, BNI Chamber of Commerce. CAI is really good. That's for community associations. It's a slow burn. You're going to have to really get in there every month and every quarter and do those meetings with those guys. You're not going to get business right away, but you need to get in there. These are for getting the properties like the neighborhoods and stuff and doing the waste stations. It's really good. Business owner or Building Owner Management Association, the BOMA, that's another one. You can't do all of these. National Apartment Association, you cannot do all of these. Pick one, do it for a year, and then also do your other network marketing like Chamber of Commerce or BNI. That's different than these associations. That's what I'm saying. Like you need to get off the truck. You need to hire someone to take the route for you. Okay, so that's why you got to have good pricing to have the money to do that. Okay, don't get stuck on the truck. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about Smart Scoops so I can show you our numbers. So for March for 2025, or as of March, we have 161 plus clients. Right now we're at about 165 actually. And this is since December of 2023. Sounds pretty good. I mean, we're happy with it, but it's actually kind of mid. It's kind of average. So people are doing better, honestly. Service area is about 30-mile radius, and we're coming in and we're dialing it down. What's actually keeping us wide are all of the commercial that we have because we're in the Orlando area, the Orlando market. And so all the new neighborhoods are actually on the outskirts of the developed area. So they're developing those neighborhoods, and so thus they need waste stations. And so now they're new, so we're reaching out to them, and we are getting to them before other companies do. So that's what's going to make you be more wide. Careful with that, and that's when you're going to want a dedicated commercial truck. Tip. So that's when you get the Maverick. No spraying, because we don't really do too much spraying and sanitizing with our commercial, like what you see here, this bulk sanitizing rig. So we're going to have a Maverick dedicated to just doing commercial. Commercial right now is about 16.3% of our revenue. And as of the last 30 days, we billed 23,000. So on average, remember I said 117? If you multiply that by 161, something's wrong, right? So I'm telling you, with all the commercial and all of the one-timers, there's a lot of money to be made there. Okay, I'm going to say all that again. We are at 117. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the calculator so that you guys can understand what I'm saying here. 117 times 165 right now. We should only be about 19,000. Okay, we've got an extra $4,000. So divided by 23. An extra 18% is for commercial and one-timer. 16.3 is commercial. 18 total is for commercial and one-timers. Don't not go after commercial and offer those one-time services, okay? All right. Okay, smart difference. We do have the bulk sanitizing rig. We love it. No one else has it. It makes us different. We focus on high value and high pricing. So we are always at the top of our market. We're raising our pricing, but we make sure that we contribute as much value as possible. We give them gifties all the time. We send them messages, seasonal postcards, and thank yous. We are always involved in community stuff. We want people to, when they see the invoice, when they see us, they're like, they're worth it. I love these guys. I know there's a bunch of cheapy guys out there, but these guys show up every week. And they always are polite and amazing on the phone. And I see them at all the parades and the events. I see their ads. They're funny and they're great. And I love the branding and I see their truck. I'm proud to be a client of this company. That's what you want. Okay. Now, the Sunny Impact. What does this mean? So we're in Central Florida. Okay. 1% of Florida is dedicated to Terra companies, lawn care, landscaping. So we are where the reoccurring businesses flourish. So lawn care companies, landscaping, and pool companies. These guys have to be hyper competitive. And in order to do that, they have to keep things simple and streamline and focus on the experience of the client. And that's what we do. We focus on the experience of our targeted demographic, our avatar. And that's what dictated how we created our business model. And that's why we're crushing it right now. People love it. We compete at a high level because of what pool companies and what lawn care companies do in Florida. And because of that, I would encourage you to do a lot of what we do. Okay, that means simplifying the sales process. That means doing packages. And we'll talk about that right now. We have a good, better, best. But I would encourage you to look at what these companies do in Florida because it's what we do and it's working. Okay, so let's take a look at our packages. So right now, this is our pricing. Okay. Good, better, best. I'm doing a lot of talking right now. I'm running out of breath. We invoice every 4 weeks, and it's pretty self-explanatory here. We don't do any contracts. We do weekly service, no initial cleanup fee, on-the-way notifications, the photo of the lot gate, and it works out really well. And so the idea is that we push people to the smart package by having the standard just not be so enticing with the price and with the services that we're offering. So the dog repellent, it's good, but people want the sanitizing and the deodorizing. So we make the pricing so it's like if I'm paying $142, I might as well just pay $157. Correct. So that's intentional and it works out really well. Most of our people actually do the smart package. All right, getting started. Administration. CRMs, we use Jobber, and then obviously there's Sweep and Go, Service Autopilot, Yard Book, Gorilla Desk. All of them have their ups and their downs. Whatever you choose, just go with it until it doesn't work and then just go with something else. But if you want to know what makes a good CRM for poop scooping, screenshot this. This is everything involved in a poop scooping business that you could benefit from in a CRM. Jobber doesn't do all these things. Sweep and Go doesn't do all these things. Service Autopilot does not do all these things. Yard Book, Gorilla Desk, same. But these are all the things that you can benefit from. Employee pay model. So hybrid does work. So if you've got home service businesses, you are familiar with a hybrid sort of production bonus and salary or hourly model. You can do that. Your KPIs can be maybe focused on having a metric with putting out yard signs and then using a service like Company Cam to take pictures of yard signs and then making sure that you can hold your team members accountable. I need you to put out 5 to 15 yard signs every day, take pictures of them. They go to a folder, so they're geo-tagged and they're dated and timed, so you can see when and where. Okay. Communication, it's important. So obviously having a CRM that allows for reminders, messages, follow-ups, and review requests. We use Review Harvest. Clay Lawrence, it's a beast. We have the most reviews in Central Florida because of Clay, and I recommend that you use him as well. Okay, you could streamline the sales process with Responsibid. So Responsibid is a sales process that attaches to your website and allows you to provide pricing immediately and get signatures off rip when people go to your website. So let's take a look at that right now. Okay, so this is Responsibid on our website. And so when they come and they want to get a quote, this is what they look at. So I'll go ahead and pause myself and you can hear the video. Hi, I'm Adam, one of the owners of Smart Scoops, and I want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to earn your business. We pride ourselves in being the best in Central Florida with pet waste removal, and we believe it shows in our 5-star reviews. We made this tool here so that you can get an instant quote right away. But if at any point you feel like you have some questions that need addressed, give us a call. Don't hesitate. Call us at 407-205-2792. Talk to one of our team members and we'll be happy to take you through the process. So there you go. So this video plays when they come to the website and then they come down here and they get going with selecting all the things and stuff. So do they want residential or do they want commercial? So let's show you what it looks like for both. Okay, hit continue. How did you hear about us? Let's say Facebook ad, hit continue, and then more videos. You're getting a residential quote, and we're excited that you'll be able to answer 7 questions and instantly get a quote. We have packages that combine our services of scooping and hauling away, sanitizing and deodorizing your lawn, and also providing a dog repellent, which prevents your neighbor dogs from using your yard as a potty. If at any point you feel like the information that you provided wasn't accurate, it's okay. We'll be able to address it before we start service. And again, if you have any questions, give us a call at 407-205-2792, and we look forward to serving you. So there you go. So just one more video, and then they start doing the thing. So yes, I want scooping. Yes, I want sanitizing. Yeah, I want the deterrent. And then they can choose how often they want the service. We do weekly, we do one time. We don't do biweekly. We don't do every other day. And then how many dogs do you have? 1 to 5 or more than 5? If it's more than 5, then we just have to just talk to them on the phone. If it's 1 to 5, we can give them pricing. It's not a big deal. So most homeowners that have dogs, the average is about 2. For us, it's about 2, a little bit more than 2 is the average. So our pricing is dedicated to what our targeted demographic is. So we don't worry about people who have 10 dogs or 7 dogs, because we talk to them on the phone and we say, hey, I know you saw the pricing, but we got to up your pricing. And they're totally okay with that. So we cater our services, we cater our process and our presentation to 90% of the people that we take care of, okay? We don't worry about the outliers, the 10%. We want to make sure that the 90% feel that our process is streamlined and simple, and I love this. That's what we want, and it works. 1 to 5. How big is your property? Most basic properties are just quarter acres. So if it's a quarter acre or less, meh. Mine's pretty cookie cutter. It's simple. Even just a guess is fine. If it's bigger, it'll trigger in response bid that we need to talk to them. So bigger than a quarter acre. So I'll show you what that looks like. Weatherproof combination for your lock. This is just value that we provide them. Notifications when we're on the way. Do you want that? It doesn't matter if they say yes or no. We give it to them. Do you need any other area scoop regularly? This is important. Yes. Where? Left side of the yard, right side of the yard. Don't worry about the front lawn. Okay. So for commercial, again, another video, it's pretty much saying the same thing of the last video, but we like to ask them how much square footage is for green space. Okay, about 1,000 square feet. Dog runs, do they need to be scooped and maintained? Yes. Do you need DNA sampling? No. Do you want us to maintain the community trash cans and waste stations? Yes. Well, how many of each? We got 2 waste stations and we have 3 trash cans. And this is pretty much it. They enter in their information and they put the dog's names. And then it kicks back the proposal. And then they can do signatures. And then if anything is triggered, it'll tell them like, hey, so we need to actually firm some things up. So yeah, responsive bid is really good. It allows you to get pricing right away. You still need to go ahead and send them the quote and have them approve it, but you can do that yourself with Jobber. You still need to enter in their credit card information. But that's okay. That's extra value coming from companies that we had to talk to people, all day long. We had to talk to 10 to 15 people and set up estimates that didn't, come to any projects. It's not a big deal to talk to people. That's an opportunity for them to hear you smiling and to talk to them, ask them about their dogs, ask them how their day's going. This is a way to build rapport and a way to offer higher pricing and to give them that amazing experience. So, okay, well, let's go ahead and get back to the presentation. So with responsive bid, we actually have a partnership with John Noonan where he has created a ton of follow-up all year long, text messages and emails that he can actually put on your responsive bid account. So automatic follow-ups, with quotes and then with review acquisitions, and then also make it look like so it has your logo and icons and colors and the fonts. He sets all that up for you through responsive bid. So check it out. It's the upgrade kit. It costs just a little bit more, but it makes it so that yours looks truly one of a kind and customized. Okay, so why scoop poop? In a nutshell, why are we doing this? We've already looked at the numbers. The numbers look good, but why should I pull the trigger on something like this? Low startup capital. It doesn't cost much to get started. Okay, when you look at lawn care, pool companies, floor coatings, foam parties, bounce houses, rentals, why poop? Because it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's very cheap. You can literally get started with a rake and a bucket. You can get started, okay? Low startup, it's nice. It allows you to focus on building culture. And what I mean by that is If you already have a business, you know that you want to get past making your systems, making your training systems, which you probably haven't done yet. And then you want to get to the point where you're just taking care of your employees, developing the culture, taking care of them. You have to get through all that first phase before you work on that next phase. With poop scooping, you work through that training phase and that on all that, like developing all the systems so quick, because poop scooping is so simple, and you get right to the area that you've been fantasizing about working on, which is how to enrich the culture of your business. You get there so quickly. Okay, so that's what I like about poop, is if you've already been in home services, it's on easy mode, because now you don't have to worry about all of those training systems that you have to worry about, what kind of roofs, what kind of ladders, what kind of, floors, how to measure the moisture, what happens when this happens and what happens when that happens. Oh my gosh, like I'm losing employees because I can't train them quick enough, and then like it's a nightmare, and I'm blaming them and I'm blaming myself, and I'm in this black hole. And I'm telling you, poop is on easy mode. And so you've already prepared yourself. If you've already done these home service businesses, you're already prepared. Okay, you're ready. It's perfect. So we have our Skool community, we have the Facebook community as well. But our Skool community, we offer things like coaching and all bunch of stuff on how to market, how to recruit, sell, brand, manage, administrate, training. It's so much stuff. We give you training videos, and we give you training documents that you can build your own handbooks for your team members, because we know that as soon as you have those turnkey systems, your company, the value just skyrocketed. Okay, we know that. And so we've sold businesses, we've created them, we've turnkeyed them, and now we want you to do the same thing. So that's what we focus on in the Poop Scoop Academy, is to take your poop scooping company and building it out so that you can sell it and increase the value massively. That means making sure that your branding is on point. That means making sure that your recruitment funnel is good, your sales funnel is good, making sure that all your systems are on point. So join our community, check it out, and let's make sure that we get your poop scooping company as optimal as possible. And I thank you for watching this video, and I hope you learned a lot, and we'll see you soon.